We are about to paint a wave. So, with a Crayola paintbrush, which I love. I'm going to talk to the Crayola people about sponsoring my website. Yeah.
You've made them millions.
Yes, I'm sure. Or at least dozens.
I bought 2 sets.
Yeah, okay, well, millions, rack up to millions.
They were expensive. They were like 500,000 each.
Okay, here we go. All right, I have spritzed the paper, I have spritzed my paint, which is none other than yellow, any kind of yellow. I like a dark red, like a alizarin crimson or something, a dark red. And I have ultramarine blue and viridian green. So 4 colors. And then I'm going to start painting this thing. I have put gum arabic underneath about half of the painting. And in thinking about it, I could have put it up higher, but it would interfere because like there's going to be little waves up here. I could have scraped them in to the gum arabic, but it will interfere with the smoothness of the paint going on up there, just from experience. No, I told you, just, you know. Okay, so I'm going to make, first of all, some yellow, and I'm going to put some red in the yellow to make red yellow.
A little vibrant for me.
Thank you. And there it is there, and then I'm going to unvibrant it. I'm going to unvibrant it with a little touch of blue. Blue is the opposite on the color wheel, so you see if I add that, it will make the, it will make it kind of a smoky
yellow.
Yeah, a smoky orange, see, which is now too much blue. So if it turns green, then your remedy is to add more red, which kills green. Red kills green. See, so eventually, gradually, see, there's the green, the greenish is less. I could add a bit more yellow in there if I wish to, but I think I'm there in terms of creating a tan pile of stuff. So then I'm going to take that and once again spritz the bottom part, spritz the top because I'm going to put some of this up in the sky. And then I'm going to take this very watery, I've already put some white there which I don't really want yet. Yeah. And very watery, and I'm going to put that down here like this. It's sitting on top of the gum arabic, so I will be able to pick out rocks and other things there later on. So that stuff is down there. Then I'm also going to put some up in the sky, up here, because I'd like to. Oh, and I'm going to have a sun kind of thing up there in the sky, sun kind of thing. And I'm going to put the sun right up about here, maybe. So that'll work fine. And so I'm kind of painting it around it for now, and then I'm going to kind of smooth it in later. So this is where the horizon is going to go. I'm just going to go right across there, like that. So there is my horizon. And then I'm going to just blend that a bit so that it dies down. I want a foggy horizon. And then I'm going to take a little more paint up there to make that appear to be kind of sun up above, because I might get some sparkles in the waves or something of that sort. Okay, so now I'm going to take, I need some blue. So I'm going to take ultramarine blue, mix a little green with it, and a little bit of red with it, and even some of that sandy color with it. So I've just toned the blue down so it's not kind of an electric, you know, fresh out of the tube kind of blue, but I need to make sure I have enough of it, so there we go. So there's the blue, and then I'm going to thin that down like this, and I'm going to begin to paint the ocean portion back here. So I'm going to spritz this again, paint back here like this, and then I'm going to paint the top of the wave that we're going to have. So I just thin that down, thin it down so it becomes kind of far distant kind of ocean, and keep going across until I like the amount of mistiness that it has together with that orangey sky there. I can pull some of the orangey sky down into it also, just about like that. And then I'm going to do my wave, which is going to come kind of more like a sine wave. So I want to come in behind it like this, that sort of thing, kind of like this, and then down And there we got the kind of motion of the wave, and I could even make that just a little touch darker, backing up the wave right there. Okay, then this is going, I need some yellow and green, and because I want to give that impression so desired by beach bums around the world of sunlight coming through the wave, right? So that's going to live right in about here. So I want that kind of color, a little touch of blue in it maybe. So that's going to live right there. And then it's going to come down like this, down and down, like so, and just keep that kind of wet and damp. And then I'm going to have the blue, which is the same blue I was using up there, but I'm going to put a little touch more red in it, which will, yeah, thanks, which will make it a little darker, a little more red and green. And that's going to make this color a little deeper, a little darker, red, green, blue, like that. Too much purple, more blue. And that's going to live down here, where the wave kind of curls over itself. So it's going to be right there. Nice touch of red there. That's totally unintentional, but I like it, so we'll leave it there. And so that comes on its way up. Now down here, I'm going to bring the water portion a little bit more down in this direction here, and it's going to kind of flow around and make a few flowy water marks there, and have it. It's going to come in amongst some rocks over here, and then the change between that yellowy stuff and the blue, I want that to be a bit more gradual, right here. So I'm going to take some of the blue and just kind of bring it up a little more bluey blue. And just bring it up like this, a little tighter, maybe with a little touch of green in it here. So it transitions right about there, and then I'm going to just kind of stop it here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of blue, I think, which is where the wave is going to curl over. It's going to curl over around about here, so I'm going to want some of that underneath the crest of the wave, which is going to appear here. And then also I'm going to throw some of it around in the foreground here, some really dark stuff, because I'm going to very quickly put some rocks in there and save some of that browny color, but right down here put some of this, and then have the water stream back like so, and up into the curl of the wave. Okay, that looks pretty ordinary in there so far, so now I'm going to spritz it, and then I'm going to look for my little bag of tricks here, which are cutting boards. So they're kind of little scrapers that I've made by cutting up these thin cutting boards. They're kind of like credit cards, except they don't come back at you at the end of the month, right? So I've cut them up like so. They have a little curvy part here as well. So then I'm going to once again spritz it here, and then I'm going to try and pull down the waves. So this will give me kind of an approximation of waves, and then later on I can put more white, solid white specks in there. So this is going to go like this. A little more dampness here. Got to be careful not to let it really dry in, because yellow and green and whatnot are kind of sediment or very staining. So I'm going to make my wave shape coming down like this.
Where did you go?
Like that, and like this. Actually, I like the dark bit underneath. I can use that. And then I'll come over here, and then I'm going to curve down here at the end of it like this. See, there's the wave curling over itself. And this part I'd like to be a little whiter, so I'm just going to go back at it like that. Curve it in here. And then I need a feeling of stuff being drawn up under the wave. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that to make this shape of the wave a little more dramatic here. And I'm going to take a little bit of the dirtier stuff out here. I could probably work it in if I thought about it, but that's okay. And so there's my curl of the wave, and I can maybe not have much curl up there, and I don't mind that. And I can do things with straight white paint that can make that work afterwards with little spits and stuff coming in. Okay, so I'll just clean that little bit of gorp off there. And so there's the beginning of that wave. Then I'm going to have foam down here. So this is foam kind of backflowing from a previous wave and coming up the trough there. And so these will be little crumbs of foam in here, and some of them will flow in to what will be a rocky area here shortly, I'm hoping. And so then we can spritz the bottom part here, and I'm going to create some rocky shapes like this, and this will give me the beginnings of some stones, which I will then, oh, and how about some driftwood here? Here's some driftwood coming down near the bottom, and it can have a branch coming up here in front of the wave even. It's waving at the wave, and maybe a second little branch there. No, just one branch, maybe two. What the heck? Two little branches, and then this will be rocks. So I just continue to lift these out of the fundament there of the sand, and I can spritz it again if I need to bring the gum arabic back to life here, and that will allow me to put in more rocks. So I just keep working it. What I'm thinking about is what would that feel like if I was running my hand along the texture, you see, that's the idea. And then bring some more foam in here, bring some foam up on the waves, and that's kind of it for the first go. Now up in here, see, I don't have gum arabic up there. If I had done, I wouldn't be able to put that wash very smoothly because it kind of interferes with a smooth wash. But what I would have done is it would allow me to make nice waves there, see? But now I can't because it's locked down by the gum arabic. So what I will do though is I will paint those in with white afterwards. So I'm going to just take a little slightly blue stuff, and this will be as these waves curl up. The curl as they face upwards is going to be kind of like this. So I'm just tilting my brush gently as it goes across here. Just about 3 of them will do the trick. Make it kind of horizontal. This would be very thin way back there. And that's about it to give the idea of the wavy sea. So now I need to work the splashy waves a little better, and so to do that I will use possibly some white paint like this. So I like to use FW white acrylic ink, but you could use white gouache, you could use you could try Chinese white, but none of it's really quite as white as this. So now I'm going to squeeze some of this out and run some in spots across the top of the wave here like this, and down in that zone there, right about here, down where that wave is kind of crashing down. Just kind of squirt that in a bit, and then I'm going to make it look like wave spray in a little while. And there's also a little bit back in here, a few dots and splobs there. So those will come down like this, kind of like that. And these will dot around like so, like little blobs of foam. And some of them are jumping like this. Some of them are jumping little blobs there, jumpers at the top of the wave. And just keep on working that, and it comes down here crashing over the top of the wave, and it comes on its way down a little bit more here maybe. I don't want to make it even all the way along. This one is more of a flowy, slumpy kind of a thing here, and so the graininess kind of comes down at an angle there, see? But I want one place to be dominant, which it isn't yet, so I'm going to go right under the sun here and really hit that lighter and brighter and make that more dominant. And there you go. So then down in here I can always bring little bits of extra foam coming back here, coming up the wave, and I can smear it in if I wish to make it look a little less like it was done with the applicator from an ink bottle, right, like that. And yeah, so that's a little dark bit I don't like. So there it is there, and I can make the sun a little brighter by doing that, like so. And there we have it on the log. I can come along the top of the log here and just make that a wee bit more driftwoody, a little brighter there, and just kind of smear it in so the top of the log is sitting up there, and I can do more interesting textures with it after it dries. Put a few lighter spots in there for rocks and pebbles, and there we have it. So that looks like another log about to happen over there, but I might or might not want to do that. It does look pretty good though. So anyway, there. Okay, ta-da! So that's our first go at the wave, and now I have something to look at and something to work with in order to put in extra detail in around these rocks. Maybe pick one or two big rocks to be larger than others, so that will work. See, you can very easily with the gum arabic under there pick a place like there, or maybe here, and I can make a big rock there just by doing this with a sponge. I can just lighten it right there, see? So that, when I put some shading sides to it, that will turn into very easily into a larger rock there, see? Very easy, So there's a couple of very light spots now that can become more major rocks, and I could come over here and do one more as a little extra accent there, which won't look like much right now, but the light is ready there for action, and I'm just going to tone that one in a wee bit, and there we go, there we are. So I'll just zoom in on that, and I'm glad I decided to tape it a bit there. So just move this over the top. Well, that's about as close as I can get it, and then I can take a picture, oops, with the little camera function, if I can find it. Yes, I think I just took a couple there. And then I'm just going to zoom in about that much to give the idea. Okay, that's all.